and welcome back to my channel, which actually seems to be turning into a little bit of a channel as opposed to just a place where I park things for either the university I work at or the university where I'm taking courses. Currently on just back from break at the University of Hartford and on break from Drexel University because one's on a semester system, one's on a quarter system, starting up a new course next quarter, next week with Drexel. And actually, that's going to be with a different instructor. Since I had the same instructor for the first two courses, I thought that perhaps I was going to be having the same one for the third, but I am not. And I don't know if they will still be, so I don't know if this other instructor will want to have us doing video responses to the readings, which is sort of how this kind of got going. But I've gotten to really like doing it. So, and I've learned a lot, starting with don't use your phone to shoot the video up your nose, and moving on to you might want to put some color on your face before sticking a camera in front of it. And learning how to edit the videos a little bit. I'm going to attempt in this one to add cards up here, I believe, or possibly up here. Yes, I've seen plenty of people do that in videos because it's going to be in the upper right-hand corner as you're looking at it. I don't remember if that puts it on my right or my left. I'll figure it out. Anyway, it's been a great learning process, and I kind of want to continue with it. Also, I happened to stumble across, while I was trying to sort myself out about a conference that I'm going to next week, and I'd stumbled across something called the PhD vlog. Linked below, gonna try and put that in a card. So I thought, wow, there should be more things like that. And this particular vlogger is in classics as a discipline. Wouldn't it be nice to have one for somebody who's in nursing? And I've renamed, or named, it never really had a name, this channel to show, to be consistent with my nursing geek identity that is across most social media platforms, which I guess I should also link all of those below because that's just a thing people do. I have way too many social media accounts. It's really absurd. Partly to just be consistent, and also I changed the description, and I referred to myself as a semi-academic nurse, which my boss would probably feel that I was putting myself down. No, you're not just a semi-academic, you're a real academic. It's not about whether or not I have a doctorate at the moment. It's about the fact that I've got one foot in academia and I've got one foot still in clinical practice. And I like that. So I don't see semi-academic as a bad thing. I see it as just part of who I am at least at this point in time. And I am not sure whether I see myself ever being a full-time academic or whether I see myself being someone who continues to keep a foot in each world, which would be part of the reason that I'm looking at a practical doctorate rather than a PhD. So if I do end up in a DRPH program, then maybe this will get renamed the DRPH vlog, or give it a hashtag of that, as happened with the PhD vlog. I don't know. We'll see. For now, I have some ideas about what I'm going to do with this, at least for the next few weeks, because I have quite a few interesting things coming up that I'm going to want to share. And it might just be that it's only my friends that I point the link to and share it with, but that's still okay. And it's easier to do that than to try and email people videos. The other thing is, when you start watching a lot of vlogs, you start getting ideas. Oh, I'm having fun watching these hauls that people do. And people haul everything from books to makeup supplies to clothes to whatever. And, you know, I'm going to a conference. there's always a hall because there's always a hall full of vendors who are all but throwing things at you. And as I said to my students just last night, I'm sure that I will come back with at least a pen for everybody from some different vendor because that's almost a gimme. So maybe I'll do a post-conference haul. Um, we'll see. Um, that would be more relevant than, say, a makeup haul, although I could sadly actually probably do one of those too, and I've fallen down the rabbit hole, and that needs to stop sometime soon. Um, but it's like anytime I get into something new, oh, pretty, must have, and that goes for books and other things. So I'm sure this will settle down at some point. I hope. um, or my credit cards hope. Anyway, um, and I'm thinking I might vlog the experience of the conference. Um, and that's also kind of relevant to the whole geek side of me because, get this, the conference is in Vancouver. And if you know me and you know that reference, you know exactly what flavor of geekery is likely to come shining through. Can't help it. Several TV shows that I am very fond of and fanish about, and one in particular that I am very fanish about, actually film up there. So there will be geekery related to that outside of the conference itself. But also just the experience of going to a conference actually as a nurse at an anthropology conference. There is a council on nursing in anthropology that I'm a member of, and that's where the context in which I'm presenting. But it's very different than presenting at a nursing conference, at a public health conference, anything that I might actually have familiarity with. And this is the first time I'm going to be presenting at a conference I have not first attended as just an attendee. That's part of my learning and processing style is I like to experience something first before then jumping in. And not going to get to do that this time. So, I'll get to watch some other people's presentations on day one before I go present, but that's not quite the same thing as being able to absorb the culture of a particular conference, because each one does have very much its own culture, and have that in mind while you're developing your presentation. So I'll probably babble about that a little bit. I might even do a get ready with me, because I will say that there is a lot of the whole figuring out how to present yourself professionally at a conference or at all. It took me forever just to figure out what my look was going to be as a professor. I was not going to be my dad and be forever in a full suit, tie. That's not my style. My first semester teaching, I had a fairly laid back approach that I was trying to put my students at ease, because I'm teaching the first course in the master's in nursing program, and they're usually extremely nervous. So I thought maybe toning down my look a bit would actually be helpful to them and also more comfortable to me. That wasn't working very well. So ultimately I ended up hitting on find some sort of dressy blouse and sweater rather than having like a suit jacket, and nice pants, and that's going to be my look. It took a little figuring out how to get together for a conference. Also a whole different thing, especially once you start thinking about the whole makeup thing, paying attention to all these different tutorials and ideas about what works, what doesn't, in what contexts. And an academic conference is very much its own context. I'm pretty much presuming this is going to be a thing where I'm going for a very matte neutral whatever, but I may do a get ready with me and talk through my process of the decisions, because I would love to have been able to watch one of those in preparation for this or for the conference I presented at last fall. So even if nobody finds it for 5 years and somebody who's running off to their first conference finds it and finds it in any way useful, that'll be worth it. So that's sort of what I'm thinking about. I had a bazillion ideas that were running through my head that I said, oh, the next time I sit down and vlog, I'm going to talk about this. Next time I sit down and vlog, I'm going to talk about that. I don't remember what they all were. So I don't have them all right now. And I'm already at 10.5 minutes, which is getting a bit long for this sort of babble. So I'm going to cut it short and figure out what else I was going to talk about and probably make that one a different video. So bye for now, and now you know what might be coming up. So if you think that's something you might want to watch, by all means, hit the subscribe button. And if you don't think that would in any way interest you and you're already subscribed, well, no, the two of you who are subscribed, if you actually unsubscribe, I would be wondering what I did wrong. But if it isn't something that you want to see, then unsubscribe, because you shouldn't be watching stuff that's not interested to you, and I shouldn't be cluttering up your notifications if you don't want to see my stuff. So, wonderful. I've managed to talk and babble for another whole minute. Actually going now. Bye.